believe, and again, all of these amenities are needed if you need investors to come to your land. Investors create jobs. Jobs keeps you from poverty. And that's why you don't have jobs. And that's why people are poor, because they don't have the means to take care of themselves and their families. You see how the piece and parts fits together? Currently, actually, I will show that right now. I have like 1 or 2 videos to show. 62% of Nigerians are currently living below poverty line. And no, actually not below, extreme poverty. 62% of the population, approximately 170 million people out of 200 and something million, lives in abject poverty. And this is not going to go if we continue on this voyage. This
so let me ask you a question about 2023. Yeah, yes, let me just ask you a question. You know, yes, because we've seen numbers back in 2020, the Nigerian government issued, you know, the statistics. They said there were 42%. So that's over, you know, 80 million. And then, you know, it rose to 90. And we have, you know, each day it is escalating, right? So the question is, have you seen any politician, any at all, and that's any, talk about cutting their pay so that the people can chop? Has anyone seen that?
I have not come across any.
Has the president taken steps to cut the politicians' pay so that it can be provided to the people who are, what, 30,000 naira a month?
A month?
What I saw was that they're going to cut the minimum wage from 30,000 naira down to 18,000 naira, while keeping their pay intact. Okay. So I ask you, is there any politician, and I'm asking this question to all indigenous Nigerians who are running to go take 1,000 naira, 2,000, even 200 naira in, because now they're giving out, what are those things? The cards that you load for your phone, right? Yeah, they're giving out 200 naira of those, right? Yeah. And you got all these young men running everywhere, you know, let's vote, right? So which one has brought up that they are going to cut the pay of the governors, the senators, the House of Rep, and everybody else in between, so that that money can be allocated to the minimum wage, but more especially to those who are at the poverty level? Let me ask another question. And again, here we're just asking this question so people will think. Has the government opened up any food banks for the poor so that at least they have basic food? And before you answer that, anyone remember the whole thing about palliatives when COVID and the lockdown? Oduka, you're smiling. Do you remember what happened with the palliatives? When were those palliatives discovered? During Lakey, right?
Yes.
It was discovered that all this food had been stockpiled by government and government agencies. I don't care where it comes from. It's the political process, right? And wasn't given to the people. So the people were finding the warehouses and storming the warehouses to take the food. Does anyone, you know, am I the only one that remembers that? I know that we have a video.
I remember that very vividly too.
Exactly. So that's the question. What is going to change for the 90 to 180 million people that are living in poverty in Nigeria by going to this 2023 election under this constitution that is holding everyone down?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just show this video real quick? It's about it's still about poverty, what we're talking about. Okay. And I would just give me 1 second. And you know, one talks specifically about poverty, and you know, and the impact of the insurgents, the terrorist activities, and what people are being driven into even more poverty.
Let's make that our next forum.
Exactly.
We'll talk about the terrorist activities,
such as IDP camps. So I'm going to show one of this. Bear with me for a second so I can pull this up real quick.
Yeah, that's one thing about poverty. Do you know what a hungry child, the impact of poverty on a young mind? You're basically damning that child to be undeveloped.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Let me play this.
Humanitarian issues to enable it to assist in providing solutions to the challenges faced by internally displaced persons. They stated this during a visit to Governor Samuel Otam in Makurdi.
The deplorable condition of persons living in internally displaced camps across Benue State continues to be a source of worry to the state government. The state government has repeatedly called for assistance from the federal government to help return internally displaced persons to their indigenous home. Pained at their continued hardship, the Benue State governor stated that the figure of IDPs in various camps has risen above 1,500,000. This rising number makes their condition of living much more difficult, with resources of the state government to cater for their needs overstretched.
We are against the injustice that is being perpetrated by this current federal government, and so they have devised several measures of punishing us. Like I said, every other person has been given support to clear areas that we inherited. I inherited 70 billion naira areas of pension and gratuity and salaries when I came in 2015.
The governor is happy to receive a delegation from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. He expresses hope that the visit will kickstart a turnaround in the story of Benue IDPs for good.
I want to assure you that we shall support and encourage this effort you're trying to do for humanity, because you have chosen to look at the downtrading. And
so let me stop it there.
Let us just talk about who are these people in the IDP camps. And Donald, you can join us at any time. Let's talk about who lives in this IDP camps, and let the world understand who we're talking about. Those that are in this internally displaced persons camps are indigenous Nigerians that the Fulani herdsmen, who are not indigenous to Nigeria, have driven off their land. They have driven these people from their land, destroyed their farms, destroyed their homes, and taking over the land. This is who we're talking about. And the federal government have not only not done anything to punish the people that have done this, who are non-indigenous to Nigeria, they are allowing the breeding of cattle to kill indigenous human beings. And those that are not killed are put in these camps, and the federal government have provided no assistance. Can you just tell us about, I mean, we saw the video, but tell us about the conditions. What are they living under?
Did you see? Yeah. Did you see part of the video? It's so deplorable. Do you see the makeshift homes that they built? They just
homes. These are on top of each other.
Exactly, and they are all packed together. Yes. That's another recipe for infection to spread so easily. Right?
Absolutely.
And the
no
water,
no sanitary conditions, unsanitary conditions for Nigeria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And again, the healthcare system is not even there to support those kinds of outbreaks.
Right. So it's Tinubu talking. Let's talk about presidential candidates. It's Tinubu talking about bringing the perpetrators who are killing daily, destroying farms daily, to justice if he wins the 2023 elections.
You know what? It's even worse than that. It's even worse than that.
What about Peter Obi?
You know,
what are some of the other names? has anyone addressed the poverty issue and talked about the fact that politicians, right? That
they are not going to address it.
Well, we've got some of them that are earning a salary, this bloated salary, and getting a pension at the same time. How can you be working and getting a pension at the same time?
But you know what? They are not going to talk about it, right? It's even worse. You said as Tinubu even talked about those bringing them to justice, he's been going about just even giving money to those people in those areas, right? And not even consoling those people from east part of the country that have been victims to these people.
Exactly.
So it's even worse than that. He has not even
controlled politics.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we see Governor Autumn, right? We see Governor Autumn, and he's been exemplary about talking about it. I haven't seen him cut, take half of his salary, right? Which would be good if he took half of his salary. But the current political process, because this problem has been around for a while. What has the politics, what has Nigeria, one Nigeria, indivisible, indissoluble, done to fix the problem, the root cause, the Boko Haram terrorists, the Fulani herdsmen terrorists? And yes, they are terrorists. They're killing every day. Which one of them have been prosecuted? And the ones that have been prosecuted at Boko Haram, they become repentant, and guess where they go? Into the Nigerian armed forces. And I don't want to, divert too much from this, because we're going to talk about this. But this is the same Nigerian armed forces that the International Criminal Court says has committed war crimes against the indigents. Of course, they're going to commit war crimes. We've got terrorists in the armed forces, and more is being put in there every day.
Can I just show one more, one or two more videos about IDP camps and this deplorable,
Let's do that real quick, and then we can move on because there's
it's
so much to talk about. Because this 2023 election, for people to allow this to go on, they must think about what they are going to gain. And in this case, there's so much to be lost, right? And continue to lose. Right. So go ahead, Montgomery. Go ahead and bring that up.
Okay.
Donald, can you please get the link to the live broadcast so I can share it out to folks? And you can paste it on here too for people.
Okay. Let me. Okay. I think that's it right here. Okay.
Peace, particularly children, carry on with their lives, and how they adapt to sufferings in camps are hardly told until the worst happens. In this report, TVC News correspondent Jesse Tafida takes a look at the predicament of children living in IDP camps in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital.
The Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region has lingered for 11 years. Claiming thousands of lives and displacing many others from their ancestral homes. Those who take refuge at IDP camps live abject existence, hoping for a time when their lives will return to normal. I take a visit to one.
No, I lost it. We lost that.
Seem to have lost the
audio.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what I wanted to let me stop you. What I wanted to show is just how many of these victims are children, and a lot of them have been left, like maybe orphaned because of the actions of the terrorists. They've killed their parents, or they've killed one of their parents, and so these kids also are now, not just being displaced, but they also don't have their parents, people who are. So can you imagine the kind of trauma that these kids are growing, with? So that's number one. Then number two, the person just he said something in there. said that, you know, that the I mean, well, I'm going to try and remember that. But again, you know, it said for 11 years, that this has been going on for 11 years. That's what I'm trying to remember. 11 years. Within that 11 years, how many of those years has Buhari been there, right? How many of those years have we voted already? So why are we going back to the polls to vote again? Hold on, let me stop that. Because it's,
there are about 52,000 orphans among the displaced children.
52, okay, all right, so I'll stop that. All right.
Various IDP camps.
All right. So let me come back. Yeah, what I wanted us to see, or you know, there was that you know, like children makes up the greater number of the people in IDP camps. Yeah, and then secondly, so can you imagine how many years these children are going to be there? They said it's been going on for 11 years, and we have voted how many times now? Absolutely. And things are getting worse.
Right.
So why do we keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different result? My people, this is not going to go, 2023, going back to the polls is not going to help us. It's actually going to make things worse for us.
Absolutely. That's a really good point there, is that, again, all we're trying to do, everything we're talking about is fact. All we're talking about, in fact, 1.5 million in IDP camps in Benue. These are small-time farmers. These are farmers. That's why we have food scarcity. The situation is not about herders and farmers, because the herders are only attacking moderate Muslims and Christians and what they call them, extremist Muslims. That's who they're attacking.
Yeah,
it's not a herder farmer. Because again, I mean, we've seen the videos, haven't we? Right? We saw the video from, we talked about Ruga, right? I don't know, Madupe, if you have that video.
Yes, I think I have
that where the governor of Bauchi was talking about, you know, right. Let's kind of take a look at that. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Let me pull that up.
That is very chilling. Because we're not just talking about having these non-indigenous Fulani come into Nigeria. We're talking about using Nigeria money to settle them in Nigeria at the expense of indigenous people on their ancestral lands. How is the 2023 election going to fix this?
I have that now, Jen.
Right, go ahead. Let's take a look at that, and then we can move on to talking about some of the other horrors. And you know, how in any way, shape, or form the 2023 election
to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their traditional practice of moving from one place to the other. And that is very big, an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Excellency. How do we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of the
operations.
Operations. You said to bring in the Fulanis together. We have Fulanis from other countries.
The issue
as well.
of misconception, I said there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded the tradition of the Fulani man that attracts reprisal from all over the
If I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project.
They're going
and
to
you use
beg
the language the
them to
culture
buy
is up to be
into
able to convince them away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project, and it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not that you don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really exacerbating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are
taking that?
Oh yes, that is going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics, because as I said, the Fulani man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you, and that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the lorries.
Let's stay with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be, this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand
the reason.
You will understand the reason why people are concerned, because of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if that...
These forests are there anyway. If you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals. And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it's not being utilized.
But much as yes, I mean, they're fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanis as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians, because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world, all over Africa. And so presumably they are Nigerians.
All are citizens of Nigeria.
That is the misunderstanding. They move from one place to the other, and they have relations, kith and kins in all the parts of the country, and even outside.
Okay, we can end this. Did you actually hear this? Every time I hear this, what federal government has delineated money for ancestral farmers who are Nigerians, but they want to bring every Fulani into Nigeria and give them a Nigerian citizenship. They don't have land, they want your land. Buhari himself made the statement that we should give up our ancestral lands to save our lives
if we want peace.
Yes.
Can I say something? Can I say something again? If I may chime in. You see all those ludicrous that this man, because to me it's just
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All the ludicrous that he was spewing out. You know why? I really won't blame him. I blame ours, right?
Yes.
What that man was doing was he was protecting his own people.
Absolutely.
Why is protecting his own section, right? He's trying to advance their cause. He's trying, to secure his people. But ours, what they are doing is selling us to these people. And those are the ones we need to address. And that's why we must not follow them to that, which must not follow them to that slaughterhouse, which is 2023 election. That is what we need to be telling ourselves.
Absolutely.
They are
Absolutely.
who are the problem.
I mean, they are, I mean, like this man, the Bauchi governor, who is Fulani? Who is Fulani? Okay, he is Fulani. I don't even know if he's indigenous. He's not indigenous to Nigeria, obviously.
A lot of them are.
But because they have come into our country, and that's a topic that we're going to be talking about another time, is in our new nations. Once they get established, right? The Yoruba nation, the Middle Belt, and the Lower Niger nations, once they get established, our constitution we need to kata our constitution and make it impossible for a non-indigenous person to hold a presidency, a vice president. We shouldn't even give them citizenship because we've seen what they're doing with it. I know it sounds radical, but if we have continuing killing of our people and the Fulani, this Bauchi governor has not condemned the hundreds of thousands of people, the millions displaced from their homes, their farms. He has not condemned it even once. He's not condemned this even once. I mean, I get very passionate about this very topic because it's like, oh my God, okay? Do you have the video of the pastor talking about how they're invading? Or I believe we have one for Akintoye, when he's talking about the invasion, because they have said they're coming, right? Yes. They're coming under the guise of jihad, right?
Well, this man told us
clear. They don't have land. They're coming to displace ancestral people from their land. And Buhari, who is Fulani, the Bauchi governor is Fulani. Do you want to know most of the people who are leading Nigeria are Fulani in a country where we have lots of other indigenous? So that's a good segue into federal character. Let's talk about federal character. Because if we stay on this poverty issue, and if we stay on this fact that the government is using money that belongs to Nigerians to bring Fulani from outside of Nigeria, who are not citizens of Nigeria, Governor of Bauchi, they are not citizens of Nigeria and should not be given citizenship in Nigeria. And they should not be getting Nigeria money while the indigenous people are living in squalid conditions in IDP camps, when these Fulani that you're bringing in, Mr. Bauchi governor, has killed them, destroyed their farms, destroyed their homes, and taken over their land. That is egregious, beyond egregious. I am appalled that the politicians from the Middle Belt to South, yes, I'm speaking to you, will sit there and approve things like this that are detrimental. I'm talking about existential threat. I'm talking about threat from debt from starvation. That's what's going on in the Middle Belt to the South. While we're taking Nigeria money to bring non-indigenous Fulani and settle them on our land by force and by the government giving them our land. That is beyond incredible. And dear presidential candidate and all political candidates for 2023, where is your plan to stop the invasion, to stop the taking of Nigerian money out of the mouth of babies, children? Do you know that out of that 90 million to 180 million who are living between abject poverty and poverty, do you know how many are children? You are taking money from Nigerian citizens, indigenous, and putting it into the mouth of Fulanis who are not from Nigeria. And you're justifying that and say you have to have them buy into it? Okay, I gotta get my temperature down. Let's talk about federal character. Maybe that's gonna make it worse. Donald, help me out here because I am getting definitely worked out. Welcome, Imoro. We're continuing the topic today on Freedom from Nigeria. We're talking about, can the 2023 election fix the horrors that are happening in Nigeria today? And Modife just went us through a very emotional discussion about the poverty, the IDP camps. And can you believe the use of Nigerian money to bring in Fulani from all over Africa and give them Nigerian citizenship and Nigerian money while they're killing ancestral indigenous Nigerians every day? And these are, we saw the videos of what's happening in one IDP camp in Benue. They're in Maiduguri. That's not the refugees. They have driven Nigerians, citizens of Nigeria, indigenous Nigerians, out of Nigeria while they are bringing Fulanis into Nigeria. That's what we have happening, indigenous Nigerians. You need to know this and you need to understand this. So you can tell your political folks, the politicians, that this must end. No referendum, no 2023 election. No referendum, no election. You need to tell your politicians to close shop and stand for the lives of the people who elected them. Well, in this case, given that a lot of the results are bogus, but they're there to serve the people, not kill the people with poverty, with Fulani herdsmen, with Boko Haram, with bandits, with kidnappers, who are all one and the same, Fulanis.
Jane.
Go ahead, Majikwe, and then we'll talk about federal character.
I have another
because I think we should have left this for the end, because I get very passionate about this, because it blows my mind that this interview actually happened. I mean, this is one that every indigenous Nigerian must see. The taking of Nigerian money to bring Fulanis and give them Nigerian citizenship, give them Nigerian money, give them Nigeria forests, destroy our ancestral lands.
So, Jean, I have the Ahmadu Bello's quotes displayed on the screen.
Right.
So I know people will be thinking, why are we saying all of this? It's because we need to wake up. This has been a plan all along.
Absolutely, and it's out in the open.
All along.
It's out in the open. They're begging their Fulanese to come in and take Nigerian land and take Nigerian money. Give them Nigerian citizenship. That's what the Bauchi governor, we're not making this up, people. It was his interview. He laid it out in the open. But how many of our indigenous Nigerians have seen this? He laid it out in the open, their plan to bring in all the Fulani and give them Nigerian land. Colony, he says. Ruga, open grazing. What about the lives of the people that own the land? The ancestral lands is owned by indigenous Nigerians. What about the rights? What about their rights? It's unbelievable. Let's move on to federal character. I know it's a similar topic, federal character. Let's talk about federal character in the Constitution. Federal character is a beautiful concept when executed. However, in the 1999 Constitution, you cannot enforce federal character. What is federal character? Federal character says that in Nigeria, there's a multitude of tribes, a multitude of people, and apparently a multitude of non-indigenous people who believe that they have rights to your land and your money. But there's a multitude. So federal character means that in the high-ranking positions in the country, it should reflect the mix of the country. No one group should dominate another group. Have you checked out who is on top of NNPC? NNPC is the Nigerian, the Petroleum Corporation, right? We've seen those names, haven't we? Top 20. Northern or Fulani. The court. Last year, I saw an affront where they are now replacing, right, the chancellors of the universities in the South with Fulanis. Are you listening? I was like, what the heck? And in case you think this is not a problem, there was a group that brought a lawsuit and they went to court. And court said, well, according to the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
the courts can't hear any cases. And this Constitution supposedly were put together by Igbos, Yoruba, Ejors, Calabaris, Thieves, Igala, Idoma, Irobo, and we said that it is okay for Fulanis to come from outside of Nigeria and take over all the main positions in all the main industries in Nigeria. That's what we said. And we said, oh, by the way, even though we put this in the Constitution, we don't want to enforce it. It's okay. Just like we said that for the benefits that the country is supposed to give to the citizens, that's also non-enforceable. Because guess what? Where's that money going? To bring foreign Fulani into Nigeria, give them our land, give them our money, and allow them to kill our people. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Federal character. It means that somebody from Ogoni should have a position in NMPC. Means that somebody from the Niger Delta, from Edo, from Ogun, from Oyo, every one of them needs to have a position at NNPC. That's what federal character means. Federal character is not Fulani from outside of everywhere in Africa taking all our jobs. The British did Brexit. It's time for us to take back our country, and we start by saying no referendum, no election. End 1999 Constitution, because it is a murderous constitution put together by non-indigenous people, supported by the international, we know this international backing, to keep the giant of Africa, the former giant of Africa, reeling and killing its people by directly killing them, by starving them to death, 90 to 180 million in abject poverty to poverty of indigenous people.
Jean, can I just add real quick, you know,
Sure.
the you know that the example that you gave about no, actually what you said about Fulanis are not, that our higher institutions are now being headed by Fulanis of extraction, people of Fulani extraction. Yeah, and I would just keep this, somebody said, I overheard somebody saying, and I'm not going to name names, that that he works with a Fulani person, right? And the person said that a Fulani person from Guinea or something, one of these West African countries, right? And so the guy, has a very good position, and where he's, and he said that he was resigning to go to Nigeria. So the person now said, but you're not from Nigeria, right? They said you're not from Nigeria. And he said, well, anyway, that he's going to Nigeria because there are opportunities there. Can you imagine? Yeah. Okay, can you imagine? Okay, so non-Nigerians are actually going to seek opportunities in Nigeria because opportunities are there for them. But then we Nigerians, well, I'm not a Nigerian. Well, supposedly those of us that that are whose ancestral land lies within that space, because it's just a space. There's no, I mean, the concept of Nigeria does not exist, right? It's just a space, just a geographical expression, like Chief Awolowo said. So those of us who belong to the, whose ethnicity, reside within that space, cannot leave and go there for opportunities, because there are no opportunities for us. But then there are opportunities for Fulani. Just what that Bauchi governor said, that any Fulani outside, within Africa is a Nigerian. But then what about, but what about Yorubas or Igbos or Ijaws from another part of outside of Nigeria? They are not Nigerians.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Exactly.
Yorubas from Benin Republic, they are not Nigerians.
Exactly.
Right?
Only Fulani. Only Fulani.
How do we then?
And he actually used the word citizens.
And that's what I'm saying, that the federal
called these non-Nigerians citizens of Nigeria and using Nigerian money. Okay, we keep going back.
So when we talk about the federal character, it does not
an opportunity for indigenous
people. It does not. They will not allow the federal character to
because they wrote it into the Constitution. They wrote it into the Constitution. Okay. Yes. Do you know that in that Constitution, and again, this isn't about this isn't about what is actually going on, because a lot of people don't seem to recognize the fact that this isn't a Muslim Christian situation in Nigeria. There is a jihad. We have extremists who have teamed up with the Fulani, and the Fulani is one and the same. Fulani herdsmen, bandits, kidnappers, Boko Haram, they're all working together. We saw the information. Do you have the video from Melafia? There's a recent video from Melafia. Let me just kind of go on Twitter so I can send that to you, because he's talking about that. There's a TikTok video. I'm gonna post it out here so that you can pick it up from there. But in that TikTok video, he's talking about who Melafia said is heading the Boko Haram. Who is heading Boko Haram? And he said they told them that it was a northern governor.
Oh yeah, we know
it was a northern governor. So I'm going to put this out there for you. If you can pick up the Twitter so that we can show the video, that would be great. It was a northern governor.
You send it to my email or to my phone?
I just sent it to you in the chat. So you just have to click on it and it will take you there. Yeah.
Okay. The whole Fulani stuff is very funny and very unfortunate, because they have so much manipulated the average Nigerian that even when you're trying to explain to people want to sound politically correct or want to give it.
There's no such thing as political correct. We have people who are not even from Nigeria taking over
federal character stuff. They take advantage of the function called the quota system. You see, where you have examinations, you have criteria to move into somewhere, they say, oh, you have to implement quota system. So if I need a 250 to go to have entrance into somewhere, they say, oh, because of quota system, we have to, the federal character, everybody needs to be represented. Oh, we educationally disadvantaged. So they say, okay, with just 2 or 3, we can come. But when it comes to federal character in the government system,
go down. You were going in the right direction.
Taken over.
But that link should take you direct to it, Modifa. That should take you direct to that particular one.
Governmental functions.
Sorry.
And they say this. Okay. And they say, according to the Constitution, you cannot enforce it. I don't know. I still hearing me. My internet says it's
yes, we can hear you.
It's unstable. Okay. So they come up and they say that you cannot enforce federal character, because they say, oh, we want to appoint who we think is best, and yet the best is those that would benefit the
Fulani, yes. Those ones are enforced. Those ones are enforced. But federal
these ones are enforced, but here it cannot be enforced. You know,
in leadership,
it's so
yes, it is not
unfortunate.
enforced. Absolutely, it is. Let's listen to this because this kind of tells us what's going on. And I mean, like the Boucher governor, he's out there talking.
Did you know that the Nigerian secret police hounded this
Go ahead, Modupe.
former top government official till he died for saying these things?
Let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders, 1 or 2 who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunition, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm telling you. I have this from the highest possible authority, higher authorities of some of the commanders of the killers and Boko Haram.
You said northern governors, past or present, Dr. Badaya?
No, current. No, they said one of them is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. One of them. And they're not looking for money. They have more than enough money.
Of course they have more than enough money. All the money in Nigeria has been going there. I had posted this one information on Punch, right? On Punch back in 2018 that talked about the 70 billion that had been given, 70 billion, to build these rugas for non-Nigerians. I mean, I keep saying this in my mind, I cannot believe it. And nothing had been built, and that money had not been traced. Yeah, they have enough money. They have said it. Okay, they have said it. Let's see. One of the things that I want to bring up, let's go to. I mean, I know people are saying, "Oh, there's no invasion going on." Well, let's take a look at which one do you guys want me to bring up? Do you want me to bring up the lady pastor or Prof Akintoye reading the letter? And we have heard from Governor Autumn, right? Governor Autumn read the letter from them, how they're coming to take over. I mean, we're not making this up. We cannot make this up, okay? We cannot make this up. This is the reality that we have on the ground today. That's our reality. And the sooner our people understand what's going on and understand that they are, right? We have an invasion going on. Things are not going to change. Things will not change until that happens. Things will not change, and those things need to change. So go ahead, Donald. I'm trying to get I need to get this video to Modupe so that she can share it. You know, I mean, we've seen the Fulanization plan. I mean, it is full on Fulanization plan. It is full on. The Boucher governor said it. I mean, that news that he was sending out there was pretty much telling them to come into Nigeria so that they can take over Nigeria. That's pretty much what that's about.
Yeah, what Modupe said about the guy, I think I heard about that. I had that conversation in the clubhouse where the guy from Guinea-Bissau, I think is it Guinea-Bissau somewhere, Guinea-Conakry somewhere, was actually saying that that Nigeria belongs to them and they have more privileges there.
Absolutely.
And so he's leaving his job because he knows he gets into Nigeria, he becomes
your chat.
You know, and he said that is the mentality. That's the mentality they have
around Africa, because they have a president. Again, when we get, I am talking to you now, Middle Belt Nation, Lower Niger Nation, Yoruba Nation, your constitutions must be Qatar. In Qatar, you cannot have a citizenship. And no, Fulanese from around Nigeria, from around Africa are not citizens of Nigeria. They cannot be given PVCs to vote in Nigeria. Even under our current constitution, that should
But
not
they
be
all
happening,
have.
Mr. Bauchi, Governor. They are not citizens of Nigeria. To Modupe's point.
Even during
The Igbo
Buhari's
in
election,
Cameroon,
most
are
of
they
the people that
Nigerian?
voted for him were from
The
Niger
Yorubas in
Republic.
Ghana, are they Nigerian? The Hausas in Ghana, are they Nigerian? No. But they have this false narrative that the Fulanese are Nigerian citizens. Why is this? I mean, how is it that our people are not seeing what's going on? But if you can, that's Prof. Akintoye reading the letter from the jihadists.
Let me, I have it up. I have it up.
Unreal. So we have a couple more minutes.
The land on which they have lived for thousands of years as their land. It is not their land, the letter said. The land belongs to us, Fulani, and we have now a reason to take it. And we are not talking of the peoples of Benue State alone. We are talking of all the peoples of Nigeria. We have accumulated money and weapons for a long, drawn-out war. We have invited Fulani from all the rest of West Africa to come and join us to take our land.
You saw the Bauchi governor issuing that invitation.
And if you think your federal government can defend you, you are kidding. They cannot defend you. He read a letter to us and we all sat down there wondering whether we were still in Nigeria. It is, people who are doing that, you now equate them to a Afenifere or to Oha.
So I think it stops there.
Yes.
Drinking
unbelievable.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me...
Unbelievable. When you consider the letters that have been given, okay? And when you consider, and you heard him say, the federal government, it's not going to save it because the federal government is Fulani. It's full of Fulani. The president is Fulani. Governors are Fulani. NNPC, Fulani. What agency is not Fulani? Now they're in our forests, killing our people, raping our women, cutting off in a barbaric manner. They send out these videos, cutting off the heads, taking their children and giving them knives to cut off the heads of other children, indigenous Nigerian children. And the Bauchi governor has the audacity to call them citizens of Nigeria. All Fulani from around Africa, citizens of Nigeria. Okay, I think that's treason. Just saying. That should be treason, punishable by death.
Let's Jean, let's
unbelievable.
Let's
I sent you the video of T.Y. Danjuma because I wanted to kind of highlight on the fact so the Nigerians will understand. Will the 2023 election make it so that the federal government will save you?
Did you send it to my email?
No, in the chat.
Oh, in the chat.
Will the 2023 election make it possible for the federal government to protect you from Boko Haram, bandits, kidnappers, Fulani herdsmen? Will it do that? Let us roll. We're going to roll tape on T.Y. Danjuma. We heard Professor Akintoye talk about it, where they're saying the federal government will not protect indigenous Nigerians. It's in the letter, right? It's in the letter. T.Y. Danjuma made that comment as well, right? And then we heard about the fact that they're ready for a long drawn out war. They have all the money because they are sitting on Nigerian money. They're taking Nigerian money while starving the indigenous Nigerians. That's what we have. We're not making this up, indigenous Nigerians. We're not making this up, middle belt to South politicians. These are facts that you should know. And you should act in the favor of your people and stop this drive to 2023 so that you guys become the transition government. Politicians.
I don't have that. I don't have.
You should be the transition government to save the lives of your people. Shouldn't be about the money that you are getting so that you can blow big while others are dying. What kind of pride is that? What kind of achievement is that? Starving people to death should not be an achievement that anyone is proud of. Least of all, indigenous politicians. I don't care if you're in the north, the middle belt, the south, as long as you're indigenous, you have a responsibility to your people. Halt the 2023 election. Let's go to referendum and restore the Nigerian nations. Because we were separate nations with no one coming in to kill us until this happened. And the Western world turns their head away. West Africa is not important. No, it is important. They know what they have in place. The Western world is stealing from Africa. Yes, you heard it here, and you have heard it over and over again. They are stealing from Africa, building their places, and telling us that we are backward, that we have no, we have no brain power, right? But you're using our resources to build your place, leaving us impoverished. Should we talk about France? And I know we're digressing. Should we talk about what France has done to the Francophone countries that they colonized? And still were colonizing because they took most of their money and loaned it back to them at high interest. That's what France did. It's no longer a story, it's reality. Now we've got the Chinese coming to take what everybody else has not taken. We've got Chinese coming into Africa to take over our land. Everybody's coming into West Africa to take over, West to South Africa, because we have the resources. But let's go back to Nigeria. Let's talk about T.Y. Danjuma and what he said. And what he said.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. No, I looked. You sent the Akintoye twice, so maybe.
Oh, I did. Okay, sorry.
Yes,
maybe I didn't. Give me a second. Let me get that to you. Sorry, my dear. Because, these things are things that everyone needs to know. We need to get this information down into the villages. This information needs to get down into the villages because they need to know. Because a lot of them don't even know that the Fulani are not from Nigeria. They are non-indigenous. When did the Fulani come into Nigeria? The 1800s? We, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Ts, the Igalas, the Irobos, the Beroms, the Jaws. It's our ancestral land, and we have people that have the audacity to take our resources, bring their people in, and put us in IDP camps, killing our people by the millions by starvation, by the millions. That's the plan of the Fulani in Nigeria. Kill millions by starvation. That is reprehensible. Absolutely reprehensible. And for any middle belt to suffer, any indigenous politician to continue this farce when millions of lives are at stake is beyond reprehensible. You are being called, the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination have asked you to be the transition government. What are you doing about it, Governor Wike, Governor Okorocha, Akeroju? What are you doing? Autumn, have you answered the call to save your people instead of just talking about it? Go ahead, Mojifa. Be the transition government. Actually do something for your people. Okay, that doesn't seem to be the one.
Okay. All right, let me see.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this isn't coming up because I just give me a second.
Oh well, I have that video. If it's the original,
yeah, that one. Yeah, you should have that. So just play
go
that.
ahead, but I'll pull it. I have that. I have it.
Yeah, so the things we're talking about here is things that are very important. These are things that are critical. They're critical for the existence of indigenous Nigerians. It is critical. And we cannot be sweeping this under the table any longer. We cannot. We need to see that our people are educated on these matters. They need to understand what's actually at stake. Their lives, their ancestral homes. We need to see that they see these messages that are very clear. The Bauchi governor was very clear about what the agenda was. Bring Fulanese, get this, beg them to come into Nigeria with Nigerian money, get the plum Nigerian jobs, while the indigenous Nigerians get nothing. That's what he was openly saying on TV. And do you know why he's saying that? So that Fulanese around Africa will be coming into Nigeria to take your jobs, take your land, take your future.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right, let me play it.
But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing.
In this state, and of course, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Wow. Wow. I think you're muted. You mute yourself.
It is very chilling and to the point. That was in 2018, and we have seen the escalation of what he's talking about. We also heard, Dr. Melafia talk about the fact, and we know that he died. Okay.
Yeah.
And he did have the interview saying that his life was in danger because he gave that expose. His life was in danger. We need our indigenous peoples to think. It's not just that T.Y. Danjuma said that, because Buhari says, oh, he hasn't been in the armed forces in a long time. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Really? Doesn't he? International Criminal Court in 2020, December 2020, issued a report that the Nigerian armed forces had committed crimes against humanity that rose to the level of war crimes. Now, when we look at who are this happening to? Northeast, Southern Kaduna, Middle Belt, Now,
I have the letter of the lady who read the letter that was written by the Fulanis to the, she read it to the church.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
she was very clear. She was very clear.
I have that. Okay, I have that too.
So we'll look at that, and then we'll just, get ready to round up, because I want us to be done at the half hour today.
By Adamu Muhammad. He even writes his name. He doesn't hide himself. This one is too bold and blunt. Ever since President Muhammad Buhari took over the mantle of leadership of this great country, Nigeria, we Hausa Fulani have come under
no such thing as Hausa Fulani
media attack from enemy of progress. That means he has been standing on their way. Do you know what that means? God has started working among them. He agreed before he get there, but God puts confusion in their midst. But that confusion is not yet okay. We need more. Because it is God that touched him to delay. If not so, our budget. You see how the man delay this, delay that. Because the assignment given to him, what Nigeria is expecting is different to the assignment on his table. Some people say the man is slow. No. What he's facing is different to what we are talking. Are you telling me he doesn't have power to control fuel? He has power. But with who? At the time, Bob scatter everywhere. Kill all the manager and the director and the company. I will see who employ you. Whether or not dead body will come employ you from the grave. At the time, Bob scatter everywhere. Kill all the manager and the director and the company. I will see who employ you. Whether or not dead body will come employ you from the grave. But let me make something clear to you. Stupid fellow anti-us. Whether you love us or hate us, it doesn't change anything. We are who we are, and we will continue to remain like that. We hate you even more, and we can never love you because you are all evidence. And the people they call evidence, anybody that did not follow is an evidence to them. I pity those of you who keep deluding yourself that we can love and trust you, simply because you work against your people to our own advantage. Imagine that statement. He said he pity those people that they are giving their information, helping them, and supporting them to destroy this nation. He said no matter how you support them, we still hate you. He's talking about Tinubu.
Yes.
No, there's no way a Yoruba man will be a faithful Muslim. You are seen an evidence to them because you are Yoruba.
That's how they think.
They say even though you work against your people to our own advantage, yet we hate you. Can you hear that? They are the people that you can't say, you can't beg. That thing called mercy is far away from them. Many of you have this message. You won't forward it to your brothers and sisters. You will keep it to yourself. And you say it is well with you. It is not well at all anywhere. Nothing is well this time. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Nothing is well. I imagine if our leader will read this and keep quiet. I add that the stupid governor of Oyo State, Ajumobi, said that they won't accept the proposed grassy bill. That means they have passed this bill to all governors. Only Oyo State governor reject it. Among all the governors, only Oyo State governor reject it. All the remaining governor as accept. Why? Because it's at the expense of their life. They will threaten to kill them. They even say that they will bring cow into the church, and if they try to stop them, they will kill you. I will read it now. But my message to that Viti Yoruba pig is that if you don't want to give us your cursed land, we will rear our cattle not only on your farmland, but in your churches. And if you try to stop us, we will kill your chicken.
I'm sorry. I was, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your acted men like rabbits, and then turn your mother's wife, sister, daughter to our sex slave like we have been doing. He said, if we bring cow into your church and you try to stop us, we will kill all the men and we'll turn all the women to sex slaves. You remember he said the land is a cursed land, Yoruba land. Yes, it is cursed. Because one of our fathers caused us that we will never be united. And this is the secret in their hand, that we will never be united. He even said it. He said we are betrayer. Let me read it for you. He said, it is either you give the whole of South to us to use as grazing service, or we soak it with your blood. And what you will do, like you always do, is noise on Facebook and Twitter. You see, they have discovered us.
Okay, we can go on.
There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is to make noise on Facebook and Twitter. Wow. Have you ever seen anywhere Yoruba gather?
Wow.
There's a lot to unpack today. There's been a lot. This is a lot, very emotional program today. But this is, I mean, the responsibility of each indigenous person is to communicate the facts. These are undisputable facts on the ground. So will the 2023 election under the 1999 Constitution stop the invasion of the Fulani into Nigeria? Will it stop the misery of those living in IDP camps, numbering over 5 million at this time, who are living in squalid conditions? And again, IDP camps are internally displaced people who have been displaced from their ancestral lands, as we saw earlier, by Fulanis who are not from Nigeria. And Bauchi governor, they are not citizens of Nigeria. They can speak the Bayelsa language all they want. They are not citizens of Nigeria, and they do not and should not be taking all the jobs from indigenous people like you are proposing. And they should not be settled on our ancestral lands using our money. As we talked about earlier, we've got Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas living in other African countries. They're not Nigerians. So Fulani from outside of Nigeria, even those in Nigeria, are not Nigerians. They're non-indigenous. Their journey just come, and yet they're taking over our country with the help of the Western world. Yes, you heard it here, with the help of the Western world. Nothing like this can go on without the Western world turning their eyes or giving them the strategy or putting it in place. And we know what Britain has done in Nigeria. Even the British themselves are calling out their own country because they're the ones harboring all the stolen money and then having the audacity to want to dictate what happens to it in Nigeria. We saw that last year. Remember when they found the money, right? And it's Citriana, whatever her name is given orders as to where the money is going to be spent. Are you frigging kidding me? The 2023 election is not going to change the circumstance of those living in the IDP camps. Because which one of the candidates, which politician has made money available for those in those internally displaced people camp? What about the refugees? Will the 2023 election solve that problem? What about the fact that federal character does not exist? And most of the jobs are going to non-indigenous people who call themselves, oh, Hausa Fulani, Igbo Fulani, Yoruba Fulani, please. Is it going to solve the poverty problem? 90 million in abject poverty. Do you guys know what abject poverty is? That is, they don't have food for a day. 40 million children at risk. Indigenous Nigerians. So the Fulani herdsmen are killing with impunity, meaning they're not being persecuted or stopped, but instead being allowed to carry AK-47s and other sophisticated weapons, while the rest of the indigents are disarmed, meaning you cannot even have a knife big enough to protect yourself. So how is this 2023 election going to stop that? And the longer that we keep up with this farce, the more of our people are going to die from starvation. So we'll be easy pickings. They're bringing more and more of them into the forest. Melafia said so. They're already in the forest, and more of them are streaming in every day, being given Nigerian citizenship and PVCs as they arrive, to make them Nigerian citizens. Indigents, you need to wake up. And as we say in Nigeria, you need to shine your eyes to what's actually going on. There's a saying that says there's no smoke without fire. It's burning. Nigeria is burning because they are bringing more and more and more of them, using your money to come take your land, your jobs, and the future of your children. We're not making this up. We're showing you the videos, we're showing you the evidence, and that's just a few of the videos and information that we have because of the time that we have. So anyone, I am inviting any governor, any senator, House of Rep, deputy governor, anyone in the political process to come here and tell us how the 2023 election results in betterment for the indigenous Nigerian. We want to see it here.
And Jean, and add that how is the 2023 election going to stop this conquest campaign by these people?
Exactly. The jihadists, how is it going to do that?
Yes.
Which one of them are talking about it? Which one of them have even condemned it? Which one of them have called for the Miyetti Allah to be labeled a terrorist organization because their people are killing indigenous Nigerians, moderate Muslims, Christians, and other indigents on a daily basis from coast to coast?
Well, Jean, actually, they are not. You know, all of our southern and middle belts, they are not, because you know what? Somehow, some of them, they are deluding themselves that maybe, just maybe, if they are able to get the ticket and they get in, they can change things. But you know what?
You know what? We forgot. We should have listened some more to that video. That video, yes, that the lady passed up.
Yes.
Yeah, she goes into that. For all of you that, because they said they're going to come for you first. They're going to burn you in your home.
They will come for you first. Exactly.
They did say that. They did say that. Yeah, they're going to. We don't have to go there now because we're getting ready to round up. But please, indigenous Nigerians, and I'm not just talking about those who are in Nigeria. I'm talking about to those who are in the diaspora. We are past the time of second guessing what's going on. If you listen to the Bauchi governor, every Fulani coming into Nigeria has been made a citizen by this Fulani-led government in Nigeria. We've already lost the leadership of our country to the Fulanis. Take a look at who's ruling the country. 2023 election, it's not going to change that. It's not going to change the killing of the people. It's not going to change the destruction of the land. It's not going to change them sending out those videos where they are cutting people's heads off as if they were animals and taking their children to cut off the heads of our children. And the Bauchi governor has the audacity to say that they're going to convince them to come take our money, to take our land and our jobs and our future. Where was the outcry Where was the outcry? Is it that nobody understood what he said? The reporter was clear in his questioning. Do you mean that we're going to use Nigerian money to bring Fulanese from outside of Nigeria to come and be citizens in Nigeria? He said, yes, we're already doing it. How does the 2023 election solve that? How does it solve the bad roads, the corruption, the poverty? Every indigenous Nigerian from the north to the south should rise up and say no referendum, no election. They should say no 2023 election, period. And that every indigenous politician needs to become the transition government so that we can restore the nations and stop this existential threat. I'm going to give the opportunity. Modupe, we're rounding up. Your thoughts on the subject.
And I'm just going to round up, just like you said. I'm going to round up just like Jane said. My people, everyone, South Nigeria and south of the state.
In fact, all indigenous from the north to the south, including the indigenous houses, they need to be rising up.
Yes. So 2023 election is not going to stop the poverty. It's not going to stop the corruption. It's not going to stop the, the conquest campaign that the Fulanis have to take over our land. What it's going to do is that it's going to co-sign all of those and make it authentic for them. Absolutely. And we must not let that happen.
Absolutely.
And that's how I'm going to stop.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Donald, do you have something to add to that? And then Stephen, I know you just joined us. If you have some comments about that. The topic is, can the 2023 election stop the ongoing horrors? Will it fix the horrors happening in Nigeria today and continuing unabated? And we have looked at different aspects of it, from the fact that unitary Nigeria cannot deliver democracy, and in fact has delivered apartheid to the ancestral people, the indigenous people. We talked about the fact that federal character is non-enforceable, and the 2023 election is not going to fix that. Poverty is rampant, over 50% in abject poverty. Bad roads, bad schools, bad healthcare system. Too much money being paid to the political elite while the masses are being starved to death. Daily killings with no one being held accountable. IDP camps with over 5 million people living in abject poverty, with the federal government turning a blind eye while they are paying ransoms to kidnappers. You have heard from Obadiah, Dr. Obadiah, may he so rest in peace. You've heard from T.Y. Danjuma. We've heard the letters that was sent to Akintoye, and he read it. We've heard the letter that was read by the lady pastor. We've seen Governor Autumn time and time again talking about what's going on. We have seen, Sokapa president when he was talking about what's happening, the Fulanization, the changing of the demographics. How does the 2023 election change that? And we have come to the conclusion that it doesn't. And going to the 2023 elections is going to be continuing the existential threat, except accelerating it, because there will be more Fulani being brought in, being armed. And we're going to do, I'm going to send you that last video where the Fulani herdsmen are talking about the fact that it's the government that is arming them. We'll end on that. But I'm going to give Demola, Stephen, an opportunity to weigh in on our conversation.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, I joined a little late because I was getting a message, invalid ID, until I tried to call you, and then you sent me the new link just now. There is no way that the 2023 election can change the conquest narrative. If anything, it will only serve to energize the conquest and the atrocity perpetrators and perpetuate the chain of atrocities. I don't know if you have heard, it was bad enough for the Fulanis perpetrating the atrocities themselves. Now they're systematically engaging our southern governors, the indigenous governors, to do it for them.
Yes.
So, for example, now that the Oyo State government, it's been alleged, I must admit, but the evidence is credible enough to believe it. The word around town is that he's run out of the office now to avoid being lynched for his own safety, but he doesn't care about the safety of the citizens that he took an oath to protect. So now that somebody like him has gone ahead to do the job for him, bringing in the 2023 election will only serve to crown the southern governors as proxies for the Fulanis. They don't even have to come again. So everything that we've seen so far will look nothing like a child's play come 2023 after the election.
Yeah.
I've been telling people we only have two choices. We can wake up and smell the coffee or sleep on and smell the gunpowder. The choice is ours. Thank you.
Very well said, Stephen. Very well said. And that information is shocking, right? Mm-hmm. Shocking. I think that's why they make those videos where they're cutting people's heads off. You know, and if Nigerians, if indigenous Nigerians, I mean, my indigenous Nigerians, Fulanis are not Nigerians. They are not indigenous, meaning they do not come from the land. They are coming to take the land. The Bauchi governor made that clear. They are bringing them in because he said, oh, we don't have land. But then he has now made all of them Nigerian citizens. We need to wake up. We really need to wake up. I sent you a couple of three of them that we're going to close with. Donald, do you have any parting thoughts before we go to the videos? You're muted.
No, not really. It's a very clear. All the indices and events have shown and proven that elections will not help us, will not stop the horrors, but will only encourage it and provide enough time for the execution of the agendas they have.
Yeah, to accelerate. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunate. Go ahead, Mojepe. These videos are very clear.
Ba gwamnati ta daure man wanda yake cikin daji ya ta'addanci ba Allah ubangiji ya tsine ma Allah dauki rayuwa ta a wurin nan.
He's saying
bahilla ce saniya aka san shi da ita sai noma saniya ba ta haihuwa bindiga AK-47 bahilla ce bai da makera da zai kera bindiga AK-47 gwamnati ke turowa har muka samu mu kuma
government is the one that is giving
wallahi dalilin da yasa billahi lazi shekara na bakwai ina makarantar
allo
amma lokacin da na dawo na tsinci kaina a cikin wannan abun wallahi ina mamaki kullun ina tunanin rayuwata saboda mahaifa na akalla a kasar dan banga da so.
Okay, he's making it
Don't
clear
even think about going soda.
They did not have these AK-47s, that it is the government that gave it to them. And he made a lot of references to his God to say that he's telling the truth. This is the truth. It's the government that's giving them the AK-47s. You're muted, Mojepe.
No, I said I'm pulling up the second one.
Right. Because we just want to make sure that people understand what's going on. It's not just about, T.Y. Danjuma talking about it. Okay. We are actually now listening to the Fulani themselves talking about it.
We'll be able to deliver on God's purposes for this nation. Does he have a purpose for it? Of course. Look at the amount of resources he has put in Nigeria. Look at the resilience of the Nigerian. Look at how Nigerians are succeeding everywhere in the world, whether they left Nigeria 400 years ago or left Nigeria on a plane 50 years ago. They excel. We're at the top of the Treasury in the United States. We're at the top of the World Bank. The list is very long in all the sciences and in all the arts. So the problem is not Nigerians. It is Nigeria and its constitution. The document upon which we were formed was a few soldiers who put it together and their surrogates. And that's what's supposedly holding us together. The foundation is that document. And if that foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? We've got to go back to the foundation. The next administration must not access power until we have a veritable constitution that is truly the document of we the people.
We the people!
You hear what I'm saying to you? Anything else is a fraud. Nigeria is a scam. It's a scam, and it's perpetuated itself too long. It's time to do something about it. No politician has the right to talk to us on this matter unless they believe as we believe. On this matter, Nigeria can do better, she can get better, and she can win. We are suffering in Nigeria in our hundreds of millions, whereas we need not to. We could easily be one of the top 3 countries in the world with the kind of resources we have. And it's about time that we let the international community know that they must be partial. Don't come and tell us that you're protecting democracy. Don't come and tell us.
Well said.
Yes.
So
but what democracy is there? Okay, there's one that was in the middle. There's 3 of them that I sent to you. What democracy is there when the Northern elders considered they rejecting power shift to the South? Meaning, unless it is zoned, the middle belt to the South cannot get the presidency. We can't even get good jobs. The people, the Fulanese, are leaving their countries to come and take the jobs in Nigeria, because a Bauchi governor has sent out the message that all Fulani around Africa are Nigerian citizens. I find that just mind-boggling. Everything that is going on in the country, with the killing that his Fulanese are doing, he has the audacity. Is he speaking on behalf of the ancestral Nigerians? He's not ancestral. He's a visitor to the land. He does not have ancestral lands in Nigeria. Neither does Buhari. They're visitors to our land. 1800 is when they came. Now they're bringing all of them from everywhere. So maybe we should bring all the Yorubas in Ghana, in Cameroon, bring all the Igbos in Cameroon and around, so that we can change the demographics of Nigeria too. Yes. I am demanding that the federal government, all Yorubas from the Republic of Benin in Ghana, colonies, so that all the Igbos in Africa will come to Nigeria for citizenship and spend money on them.
Yes.
All the Yorubas. In fact, let's go to Brazil and bring
Brazil.
Bring all the Yorubas. Yeah, come to Nigeria. Yes.
If you're going to use that argument, let's go there.
Yes. Exactly.
This is asinine. Asinine.
Precisely. We need to bring all the Yorubas all over the world to Nigeria.
Unbelievable. Okay, the last one before we all lose our minds. This is important. Share this link. Share this link. We're bringing all of this together. There's a lot more that we want to share. This is a 2-hour program, but it doesn't matter where you start. You will get good information, because we are packing this in with all the information. There's a lot more. But the central thought that you have to understand is that the 2023 election is a scam. It is 419. Because the 1999 Constitution is a scam. Unitary Nigeria is a scam.
Jane, I think you sent the Adefara Sin's video twice.
What was the other one that I was sending to you again?
Yeah, you sent me the Adefara Sin, and then you sent the I think the others guy. One of the others. The terrorists you sent, the one that said that the governor that they are involved. So you sent me.
Okay. Let's see. I can just send you. Let me see. I don't even remember which one I was going to send you that I wanted us to end with. Let's see. Let's do this one with the Sokapu president as to how they are changing the demographics of Nigeria to Fulanize it, and the things that are going on. So we'll end on that. We'll watch that and then we'll end on that. Okay, you have got that. So again, this is a very sensitive topic. But one thing that we are saying to the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government and the international community, these are facts. There isn't anything that we're saying here today that isn't a fact. You've seen the videos. We haven't even shown the headlines. The headlines are there. And the next conversation that we will have the information showing where these attacks are happening and what people are in those places that they are attacking, so that you can understand, Secretary Blinken, that there is, in fact, the genocide of Christians going on in Nigeria. Because when you look at where those things have happened, you would understand very clearly what's going on. And it's not just Christians, it's moderate Muslims, others who are neither Christians nor Muslims, but are non-Fulani. Non-Fulanis are under attack in Nigeria. So we have an existential threat from jihadists and from the Fulanis who are intent on taking the lands of the indigenous Nigerians. And it's time for that to change. Go ahead, Mojupe.
Okay. Look, with a benefit of what has happened in my state, a similar program of a Ruga settlement was not called Ruga in 1987. The government approved land that was taken from the natives in Zangokata and Kachia local government and created a grazing reserve. And they call it Kachia Grazing Reserve. By 1990, it was changed to Laduga Grazing Reserve. And Laduga is a Fulani ward. And today, as I'm talking, it was an initial landmass of 30 hectares of land that was taken from the natives, no compensation. And up to now, no single native that is there that can even go there. If you go, you cannot even enter that place as a native. And huge development is taking place. Big buildings, big hospitals. You don't even know what is going on there in Laduga. And it has been surreptitiously increased in size to 70,000 hectares. And so if we have this Laduga...
70,000 or 70? 70,000.
70,000
It means
hectares.
It was 30,000 was taken initially.
From 30,000. From 30,000, it has been increased to 70,000. And it is still there. So there is the plan is to replicate this Laduga model all over the nation, thereby changing democracy, the political democracy, the demography, the economic demography, the social demography, the cultural demography of a people all over the nation, and Fulanize every place in the nation.
These are fears that you have.
These are fears. These are not only fears. This is something that is happening to me. I'm giving testimony.
Yes, this is something that you've seen.
This is something that we have seen happen in Kaduna State, in southern Kaduna. And we, the land of our people, we cannot get there. We cannot go to farm. We cannot, this is the land that was taken over from the people. It was not compensated for, and we cannot go there to farm. We have become second-class citizens in our own state, in our own country, and somebody is saying that it is fears, only fears. This is real. The fear is real, and the replication of this model all over the country, and the intent is real. We have IDPs scattered all over this country. Now it is rainy season. Several hundreds communities are living in the rain. They have living in the scorching sunshine. They are now living in the rain. They cannot get back to their farm. They will be starving. They don't have medication. And nobody has talked of establishing exclusively, settlements for such category of citizens of the country. Only to talk about Ruga, that the Ruga settlements will bring about peace between herders and farmers. How will it bring about peace between herders and farmers? And we are saying, even in the northwest region, there is a category that has been displaced in Katsina and Zamfara and other states of the core north by this armed banditry. And they are all IDPs within the country. Nobody has thought of creating any settlements for such category of people.
Thank you.
And we are talking about Ruga. So this...
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, guys, we are at our end of the show. But this program, again, is really important. This is Freedom from Nigeria. And we are supporters of the NINA's ideology of how we get to our freedom in the 1999 Constitution, right? We need to go to referendum. So you guys need to be signing that petition to make sure that your voice is counted as wanting that referendum so that we can take back our country. The indigenous Nigerians can take back their country from the non-indigenous peoples who are making us second-class citizens. They're making us slaves in our own country and killing us in the millions because of the starvation that they have started. And I know politicians from indigenous politicians, you may not have heard this, but your salary is killing your people. Your allowance is killing your people. Your special budget that you don't have to have, make any accounting to anyone, is killing your people. 90 to 180 million of your people are living in poverty, abject poverty. That means they're already dying from starvation. Yeah, your children can go overseas. You go overseas. Tinubu went overseas. Governors go overseas. Your children go overseas. But the poor people have to stay there with no medicine and nothing. The French Revolution happened in situations like this. You can only push people so far. And I'm talking to the Fulanis and I'm talking to the politicians. When you push people too far like you're doing, they will rise. And then it will be anarchy. And you will not come out at the positive end of it. We need to save this beautiful country from what happened in Lebanon when they let in this jihadist who did the same thing as what they're doing in Nigeria. Wake up, indigenous Nigeria. Wake up, indigenous people of Nigeria. Wake up, indigenous politicians. It's time for you to be the transition government. Stop the march to the 2023 election, which is only going to guarantee your death and the death of the future of your people, because they have guaranteed it. They will see
and their children too. See if
exactly.
Yeah. And their children too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
It is your responsibility to become the transition government and see that the nations are restored, the Middle Belt, the Lower Niger, and the Yoruba nations, so they can control their own destiny. And by golly, we're running out of time. And if it's not you, who? And if it's not now, when? Thank you all very much. Join us again next week when we'll be tackling some more issues, because there is so much going on in Nigeria. We'll be talking about who are the indigenous people and what does that actually mean. We'll be talking about what existed between 1960 and 1966, because this is important for our young people to know so they understand who they are. You can only know that where you are in now is false, fake, fraudulent, 419, a scam, when you know where you came from. So thank you all very much. And looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Thank you all, everyone that contributed. And Maduka, thank you for a great job on the poverty and the IDP camps. That is deplorable. And we all need to take steps to do something about that. So everyone have a great weekend and a much blessed week.